So this is what the US is going to do in Iran next, and what Iran's strategy is to fight back the US and Israel. The US currently is very desperate, and you can tell from the actions that they're taking, especially in the past 2 days. They did three things which indicate that they are losing massively, and they are taking unconventional ways to attack Iran. Number one, they attacked the oil storages in the capital, near the capital, Tehran. These are the oil storages for the people, for electricity, for the hospitals. It has caused a devastating effect, as you can see over here. Because of the Israeli and US bombings on these oil storage facilities, oil leaked into the sewers and started burning all across the city. They also attacked a desalination plant, which turns salt water into fresh water, trying to deny the civilian population the basics of water. Now, why would you do that if you're winning the war? Trying to put that much pressure on the civilians so that they don't have water to drink. And then comes the attack on the ship, which was near India, Sri Lanka, where they shot it with a torpedo. That ship didn't have any weapons because it was invited by the Indians as part of the 2026 Milan show, where many countries come together, showcase their ships, and as part of that, you're not allowed to have any weapons. That ship was without any arms. And so what you would normally do is capture the ship. Instead, they chose to kill everyone inside that ship, even though it did not have any threat. In fact, that ship was trying to go back to Sri Lanka to dock because it couldn't go back home to a war zone. This is what Nazi Germany did, attacked ships that were harmless, essentially. Why would you resort to such tactics if you were really winning? America has brought in a world with no rules. You could do what you want. There is no international law. You could kidnap a state leader. You can kill a state leader. You can destroy the water facilities for the civilian population, and no one can say anything. And so now for Iran, essentially, they need to understand that there unfortunately are no rules over here. They're trying to destroy the whole civilization. This isn't about removing weapons. This isn't about nuclear capability. This is about the destruction of Iran because it is a threat to Israel. And let's be honest, that's the main reason why the US is involved in this. Now, no rules in a nuclear world is obviously extremely dangerous. There are three reasons why the US is and Israel is very desperate at the moment. Number one, Iran has shut down all oil and gas sales from the Gulf region by closing the Strait of Hormuz. And so oil is going to reach $120 very soon and go much higher. That's going to cause a huge recession, if not a depression in the US with very high inflation. At the same time, Iran has also destroyed a lot of radar equipments. These are radar equipments all across the Gulf area. Some of them cost $500 million, some cost $1 billion. They were in Saudi Arabia, in UAE, in Qatar, in Jordan. These were all destroyed, as we can see from the satellite images that the Chinese are providing, and also because the sirens going off in Israel have gone down from 25 minutes from when a missile from Iran is detected to about 2 minutes now before impact. And in some cases, there are no sirens. The impacts are happening with no sirens in Israel. And the last reason why they're desperate is because what started as a weekend mission, they actually thought that they can do this in a weekend of just killing the leadership and the whole country falls apart, is now moved to a 6-month minimum mission. They need to finish this before the midterm elections in November, where the campaign usually starts in August. So they're taking excessive, illegal action to quickly cause devastation, not just on the military of Iran, but on the civilian population, with the hope that the civilian population is going to want to stop the war in Iran and surrender, which, if you know anything about Iranian mindset and culture, there is no surrender. Even if you deny them water, even if you attack their oil facilities and cause toxic fume to come out that will endanger everyone, millions of people in that region, there isn't going to be surrender. That is out of the question for the Iranians because they understand this is a fight for their life, for their civilization, for their country, where they know that the aim is disintegration of the country, break it down into ethnic groups and cause a civil war where they fight over water and assets. until destruction of the whole country. Now, here are the steps that I think the US is going to take next. First, they're going to put in limited troops in the region in the same way they did with Vietnam, where they said, oh, we're sending troops there just for support and as advisors. They'll roll it out quietly and gradually, and we're already seeing some evidence that this is already happening. Here we can see that the Department of Defense has canceled army trainings, sparking fears of escalation in Iran. They're canceling a number of trainings because we suspect they are going to be deployed in the region. What's more worrying is this: US troops were told war on Iran was all part of God's divine plan. And we know this because some people complained about this. The US military commanders have been invoking extremist Christian rhetoric about biblical end times to justify involvement in the Iran war to troops, according to complaints made to a watchdog group. So we're already seeing evidence of deployment in the region, and the government is lying about how many troops are going or are there already. So limited troops as a step one. Step two, I believe that they're going to be doing some false flag attacks, whereby to gain support from the people, because this is a very people really don't support this war. And so to ensure that people do support it, they will carry out some activities on American soil, on European soil, which will cause casualties, and they'll blame that on Iran. Iran's not stupid. It knows that the fight isn't with the American people or with the European people. It's with those governments that want to destroy it. And so it does not want to have the people support the government. It wants to do the opposite. However, to gain that support, to ensure that, or to justify any attack that America does, as crazy as destroying water facilities, one way to do that is through attacks on American soil. So you might actually see that come soon. In fact, these false flag attacks have already started in the Gulf areas. There was a Saudi analyst, and I'm going to show you the video now, where he confirmed that Saudi Arabia caught 2 Mossad agents that were carrying out attacks, and in Qatar, they also caught some Mossad agents.
Saudi Arabia has captured 2 Mossad agents. Qatar has captured 2 Mossad agents, and now they are in custody. Okay, and they are planning bombing here.
And the third, if and when this fails, the troops, because having troops on the ground is going to cause devastation for the Americans. The geography of Iran, full of mountains, the preparation that Iran has, expecting this to happen. They've been preparing for decades for this war with the US, because the US has said they are going to attack Iran since 2005. And so this is going to be worse than the Vietnam casualties. In fact, the number of 6 casualties dead right now is very likely to be incorrect. And Iran has warned that they have killed more people, and the Americans are going to slowly tell the public about this, and sometimes in ways that indicate they weren't killed in combat. And we've already seen evidence today of this. We saw this from the New York Police Department, that New York Police Department mourns the loss of police officer Sorflee Davies, who passed away yesterday as a result of a medical episode while deployed to Kuwait in support of Operation Epic Fury. This is exactly what the Iranians were saying. One of their biggest attacks was on Kuwait, where they said a lot of people died. In fact, the Iranians are saying that some American soldiers have actually been captured. We don't know, this hasn't been verified, but we will, I'm sure, know very soon. So they're labeling these deaths now as non-combat deaths to show to the public that the American attacks, the Israeli attacks on Iran are very successful. We're not having that many casualties, when there are casualties, and they're essentially lying to you. Now, the third step that America is likely to take after they've lost a lot of troops after an invasion, although it might happen even before, is I think they might nuke Iran. I think Israel or America will deploy nukes on Iran. And some people will say that defies all logic. Why would America and Israel do this? Do they not see the retaliation that they would have? I think people are forgetting who is in power at the moment. They're forgetting that there is no strategy, there is no logic, there is a focus on Armageddon and of mass killing. And so the concept of this would cause X, Y, Z, it doesn't make any sense, is thrown out of the window. Under extreme pressure to retaliate and end this war, Trump might give the okay for a nuke, which obviously, if you didn't think we were already in World War III, This would confirm that we are in World War III, and this is going to be devastating for the whole world. Although you should know that we're already in World War III, to be honest with you. And the only real way to stop all of this is for the Americans to rise up, the population to demand change, not wait until November, when this could have gone extremely ugly, to understand that they have been lied to, that America is not a real democracy anymore, because whoever party you choose, you end up with war. There's always war with any party you choose. And so the only way to stop this is for the Americans to understand that they have the power and they need to rise up and stop their government from causing these atrocities. And to me, it seems like people are waking up to this fact. Iran's strategy is very clear. Number one is to survive this till the end. There is no surrender. They know that Trump is going to go away. They know that they cannot have a ceasefire, because a ceasefire means the Americans and Israelis will just stop and then restart the war again, as they started last year and then restarted it this year. And so they're going to fight till the end. And then the second strategy is to put pressure on the world to ensure they stop the American government and Israeli government from continuing to destroy the world. And they're doing that by stopping the oil coming out of the Gulf areas. Is going to impact all economy. The goal of the American government and the Israeli government is very clear. It's Armageddon, it's death, and it's destruction. They have said it themselves.